Hey boys, do me a solid, pop down to the comment section down below, leave a comment. I'll read it when I get onto the toilet. I know you'll be on the toilet typing them up.
At first, the Germans didn't shoot at it. I think they couldn't quite believe what they were seeing. But that wasn't the really astounding thing. The astounding thing was that after he hooked up with I Company, he came back.
Hey, welcome to the channel. My name is Talking Balaclava. Happy you're here. Today we're going over to 1911, 1913 Colt 1911. OG stuff. 2 world wars, a lot of dead commies. Let's go over it. There I was, deep in the trenches of the Flat Range. Hungry, hurting, wishing I was somewhere else. Wanting a cold beer and a hot broad, never be far away from that place there. But then I remembered, I had myself some nutrient survival. Well, if you know anything about the Flat Range and hurting, you know that nutrient survival can take care of you in a pinch. Packed with nutrients and carbohydrates and all that good gando schmando of health, science, and technology made by boys who have been there and done it. Much better than that raggedy old MRE government contract stuff. Well, took me some of that nutrient survival and I was good to go in a pinch. All right, well, I best get back to it. You never know where those ragamuffins will come from.
This video is sponsored by Nutrient Survival. For all your survival and nutrient needs, go to nutrientsurvival.com.
Test. Here you go.
ASMR. Hi, welcome back to Administrative Results. We're going to do a little 1911 ASMR. All right. How's that? Triggers. Speaking of triggers, let's go with this trigger. Really nice trigger pull. Really well made. A little bit of take up. Sorry about the train.
Gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, The Talking Balaclava. I think I've done like 3 intros already. Today we're taking a quick look at the Colt 1911 government model. Now I believe this one, if what I was told is correct, was actually made in 1913, this particular model. That makes it pretty heckin' old. Everyone I know that was born in 1913 is dead because I don't know anybody born in 1913. Bummer. This thing is actually pretty cool. It's a cool piece of history. A lot of it's one of those guns where you wish you could talk and you wish you could tell a story, because I like to know where it's been and what it's been up to. It is a piece of American history and it's really fun to hold it in your hand and have one be able to shoot. Now, I normally probably wouldn't advise of taking an old gun out like this and burning it down at the range how we did, but as you know at this channel, we do it big chimpin' style. So we brought it out here, did a little shooting. This is no means a gun review, it's just a quick look at the 1911. Now this particular 1911 is of course very dated. So this gun's 108 years old, so there's still technically probably someone alive that's 108 out there. If they're kicking and doing that well, good on them, but typically you wouldn't take a 108-year-old grandpa out to a track and make him do wind sprints. Not usual. There may be some specimens out there, and who knows, with modern science and technology, maybe we can be able to do that. But there is something to be said about a all-steel piece of hunkin' metal like this 1911. It is that classic Americana, well-made weapon. It is, you know, 1911s don't have the same reliability standards, the same modern standards, you know, like say a Glock 19 would have. And rightfully so, this is newer tech, newer R&D, a lot more technology went into this. You can see the difference. I mean, you have a, you know, as the fuzz would call it, like I'm dressed like one, but you know, you have a Tupperware gun. That is like what you would store your pastaroni in. And then you have a American workhorse. It's like a sports car in your hand of shooting a gun. It's all power, all style, all elegance, with a good dash of sex appeal. Now I kind of see why the Fuds love it so much. I might have to go snag myself an M14. There really is something to be said about being connected to the weapons that our forefathers used before us. Now, keep in mind, I know that we are a nation of immigrants, and during this time period, lots of different nationalities were coming here and becoming into the melting pot here that is America. But that still harks back to what are we as people in this country? As responsible gun owners, we are all riflemen. We're all gun owners. This harks back to our lineage. This is something that I think I hold kind of near and dear to my heart. Like, I'm not a big 1911 fanboy, but I do think that it's a weird X-factor connection that you do have to weapons such as this that, you know, say your grandfather or your great-grandfather may have carried and used in anger in the trenches of World War I or on, you know, island in the Pacific somewhere. It's a weird, deep connection that you have to a gun, and you may not even know the backstory, but you know that the history tied to it is very emotional. You know, I mean, you see these guns and where they've been and where they've done, they had quite the service life. It's a good piece of history. Now, is it the best handgun? No, I'm not here to do that. I'm not here to say you should carry a 1911 or you should carry a Glock or a CZ. That's not why I'm here. You are the ultimate weapon, you are the ultimate tool, as cheesy as that sounds, but you are what makes the difference. If you're a crack shot with a 100-plus-year-old 1911, more power to you. I'm not. I'm gonna take my Glock with all my gizmos and gadgets, and I'm gonna use that. You can definitely wish for, you know, that they had some more modern stuff to throw on here. I'm sure they did too, you know, a light or something, but it's not necessarily the case, and that's okay. It's a big old beast in caliber, it's a big old beast in gun, and it's definitely something really fun to look at and appreciate. You know, if you get the chance to go shoot a 1911 and you haven't done so already, go ahead and do it. I can say that there is something about this 1911, with it being a Colt and the history and the elegance to it, you know, it kind of beats out the more modern 1911s in the sense of, you know, like, because there are 1911, like when you go down the rabbit hole of 1911s, and yet again, disclaimer on this channel because it's what I do. I'm not an expert, but I do know a little bit of things. There is the big 1911 controversy where you do get what you pay for. So if you cheap out and get a cheap 1911, you're gonna get cheap performance. If that's all you can afford, then well, and you want a 1911, then I can't stop you. I'm a guy on YouTube. So you gotta live your life and have a good time. But I always encourage you to get the best gear that you can afford. This gun definitely, if you were to carry this in a modern setting, I'd say, hey, more power to you. You're definitely gonna need some things to offset what this gun is. You know, there's no, I would almost murder you in your sleep if you did a slide cut on a 100-plus-year-old 1911 or added a rail, as well as you should be probably murdered in your sleep if you did that. There are modern 1911s to do that too. It does make you, if you're gonna carry this, it's not something that you wouldn't necessarily carry, like an EDC, unless you're like a time traveler. And if you are, come hit me up and I wanna know about the past, and if you come from the future, let me know the winning lottery numbers. It definitely harks back to that nostalgia though. There's something to be said about running a gun slick and aggressive and rugged as this. Reliability, I can't tell you. I never used a 1911. I was never there in the jungle or anywhere in the trenches. I just know that it's a piece of history and it's connected to all of us Americans and all of the people that it liberated or killed. Well, I'm sure there's some people that can say they didn't like the 1911 after they got zipped up. Anyway, hey gentlemen, if you enjoyed this channel, feel free to like, subscribe, and comment in the comment section down below. If you want to support the channel any way, shape, or form, Patreon's a good one. Patreons get to see the videos usually first. I give them a link to the videos, they get to see it. I sell shirts. Shirts are on the website. They're not the best style. I'm not like a style brand. It just help like prop up the channel, essentially what it is. I pay my cameraman occasionally. Anyway, you guys have a good one. I'll catch you all on the flip.